Here we go, go. Yo, what up?
Hey, how's it going?
Fatlisters.
What's up, Fatsters?
Fatsters.
Well, that's
these bastards.
That's not right.
Yeah, Mario. Hi, Mario.
Let's go.
What are you drinking?
Agua.
I'm drinking
Purified water. Mine is whatever came out of your fridge.
Oh, nice. You know we already have that plumb too.
When's the last time you changed that filter?
Flash the toilet. Toilet filter.
Oh, well, it's not bad.
It's not bad. We do our own water purification here at the house. Tasty.
Not feeling too great about it.
So we got together a couple weeks ago.
Yes. Yes.
If I remember right, I know this is only episode 4, I think. Yeah, I think yesterday.
So 4?
Yesterday on the date, because we're 2 weeks behind on these as far as publishing them. So yesterday was
every 2 weeks we do this.
We try to do it every 2 weeks, and I was behind. And I was off on Monday, and so I ended up going fishing, and so I didn't get things done in time. So I was behind a couple of days. It got posted on Wednesday. So I know. I'll take a cut and pay. You can have 50% of my next check.
All right.
But yeah, I try to post them on Mondays at noon. Noon seems to be our time.
Hi, noon.
Somebody was staring at me.
Wow.
And so, yeah, every 2 weeks. And so, correct me if I'm wrong. The first thing we do is check in with weight.
We got to do it. Let's do it. So our last weigh-in was...
So do we talk about, was it a good week, bad week, or will the number know?
Well, we can get into...
I mean, the numbers
sometimes lie.
Okay.
They're deceptive. Can be.
Okay, so you weighed in at...
I was 238.2.
And I think we have the same scale.
Do we really? Mine's a Renfro.
Yeah, mine is too. I think you told me about that last time we were doing weight loss stuff at work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I bought that one off Amazon.
Mine's a Bluetooth. It goes like right to my app.
I don't think I've ever set mine up. Mine does all that.
In fact, my wife was like...
My wife.
She's like... I was like, well, go ahead and weigh yourself on that. Because she was like, I got to figure out...
I have my wife weigh for me, and I just have to go to my phone. It's less.
Well, that's
a lot less.
She's like, well, I'm not stepping on that scale. And I was like, why? She's like, because I don't want it broadcasting my weight to your phone. And I was like, look, first of all, what, you don't think I know? Second of all, it doesn't go to my phone. It only does that like...
It goes right to our channel.
When I connect.
With your picture.
But anyway.
Just kidding, Ange. I mean, whoever you are.
Orange. So, 238... I want to say 0.2, but... No,
is where you weighed last time? Okay, so 238.7.
No. 238.8. I got it right
238.8.
238.8.
238.8. Okay.
This week I'm weighing in at 234.
What?
0.7. Down 4.1 pounds.
Oh my god, dude.
In 2 weeks. 2 weeks and like 3 days though. So total so far 11.3 pounds in 2 months. So not that impressive for 2 months, to be honest.
2 months?
Well, because 4 episodes every 2 weeks.
Yeah, but we did some episodes where we hadn't weighed in, I don't think.
Where we were just starting?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I think we started this... We started talking about it prior.
Certainly you did.
Yes.
Because you were like waiting to go to the doctor.
To go to my thing. Okay, so maybe that's... Maybe it's 2 months for you.
I kind of started, but I had a lazy start.
I'm on my one... Let's see here. 2...
You had 2 weeks of shakes, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks of shakes. 1 week... So I'm on my second week of food, so I'm not quite 4 weeks in yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
So... But
you were... Last week, I believe we said you were 242.8.
And I want to correct you. We talked about that a second before we... Yeah, so you don't be surprised. You already know this. So when I had told you my weight, you were 242.8.
Yes.
And I was 243.
The previous week.
8. Yeah, the previous weigh-in.
4
and
weeks
so
ago.
I was confused, not confused, but I was going to go on my phone and look because it was in there, but I didn't want to mess up our logo.
It's like when people are like, doing this and they're like 43, 44, 40, and someone else is like 87, 82.
Exactly.
I was like, yeah, 87.
82, 84. Yeah, so I was a pound heavier than that. So I was 243.8.
Okay. But you were down, so you were still down like 7 pounds.
I started in the
period.
original, so 3 weeks ago, I was 251.8.
Yep. Story checks out.
Then I dropped to
243.
243.8. So I was down 8 pounds.
7.2, but who's counting?
How is that 7.2?
7.3.
How is that 7.3?
Well, 243.
251.8 to 243.8.
Mm-hmm. So
I get 8.
Well, 243.8 is almost 234.
Okay, so 233.8, 34.8, 5.8, 6.8, 7.8, 8.8, 9.8, 50.8, 51.8. That's 8
well,
pounds.
51 is what you said.
251.8.
So 2.
Oh my God, this is going to be a math class.
0.2 pounds to 243.8 is 244.
Okay, so hang on, let's round up.
4 plus 7 is 11.
Okay, but you're ripping me off a pound, and I don't appreciate it. So let's round everything up. So we're going to round the 243.8 to 244.
Okay.
And the 251.8 to 252. Now what's your difference? Booyah!
It was 251 period, though.
No, it was 251.8.
Well, that's not the numbers I have.
You
I
just
told
said it
you
checked out.
Story checked out, and it was 251.
And I just said 251.8. Do I need to roll the tape back? Thank you. Anyway, I lost 8 pounds.
Okay, all right.
So now you want my new weight?
Yeah. Give us another number to argue about.
2.
2?
Yeah, I'm in the good spot.
Love it.
3.
30. We're in the 30s, baby.
6.4.
Nice. Holy
This
cow,
morning,
Chris.
236.4.
Are you kidding me?
No.
That's amazing.
In a little over 3 weeks.
Wow.
Now, it's too much.
It's too much too fast?
It's too much too fast. So I had a conversation yesterday. So
with
the nutritionist.
A professional?
Well, no, it's today. Today's that day. No, 2 days ago.
Okay.
I had a conversation with my nutritionist. That was one of my 3-week check-in with them. So again, like Jason had said, I'd done 2 weeks of the shakes and the protein bars and protein snacks that we displayed and stuff. I actually did 1 day shy of 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to real food. And I still incorporate, and I talked to my nutritionist about this, I still incorporate the shakes and the bars into my daily meals. Because I used to do that prior. I like them. They're easy on the go. If I don't feel like making, lunch, if I don't want to pack a sandwich or whatever for lunch, I should have brought in here, because I haven't eaten dinner yet, I should have brought in my dinner.
What's
I just ate in
dinner?
front of you. I don't know what I'm going to have. I got to see what fits. But, I can talk about some of my meals now, or not now, but in this episode. But I lost my train of thought. Oh, so then I had week 1 of real food.
So you're like almost 14 and a half more, almost 15 pounds in 3 weeks?
I'm more than 15 pounds.
Well, 7.2 and 7.4.
Oh my God.
Okay, okay, look.
I'm over.
I don't want to
argue.
nickel and dime you.
By my
so you're
scale,
saying
I'm
251.8.
0.8, yes.
Even though we said 251 and we've put it up on the video.
You know what?
Which is fine.
Nope.
But I'm going to put it as 251.8 because I don't want to...
I don't want you to cheat me. I'm going to take a screenshot here.
It fits.
I don't care. I don't care anymore.
Okay, so you're down 8 pounds exactly.
No, that's the wrong one. I don't want that picture.
Oh, nice.
So this puts me at 255.7, which was a long time ago.
Well, yeah,
that was a long wait. But actually, I can't scroll up on this one.
So
actually, let me see if I can switch to this picture
I think
here.
your timeline's off.
Right there.
It's October 10th. Okay.
May 4th.
Well,
may the 4th be with me.
Okay. Well,
so this is I updated this today because this was last Friday. I was at 237.4.
The record's been corrected here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So I started at 251.8.
So 15.4 pounds.
Then I was at 243.8, but I said 242.8 because I was mistaken. Then 237.4, and then I weighed myself again this morning. That was Friday. I think I went down more than that. Maybe
You went down 1 pound?
Yeah, and so now I'm currently at 236.4.
Nice.
So this shows me at 19.3%, which is not correct because at 255 is not my correct starting number. I guess I could probably go in here and delete that number out, but
yeah,
that's probably the heaviest I ever weighed.
7.5%.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
nice, good work.
Yeah. Should I keep that up there?
Why not?
Okay, keep that up.
I don't have mine, but
you know what we should figure out how to get that. You send it to me, I'll get a split screen, and we'll just do it each week. Because you're using MyFitnessPal also, right?
I do use it. Yeah.
You should send me your name too.
Okay.
So do that later, and we'll make sure we connect because I've got some pretty good recipes or some things that my wife makes.
Okay.
But yeah, so I went to the nutritionist again a couple days ago. And so what their expectation is, and they told me in the beginning, is for the first 2 weeks when you're on shakes and stuff, you're going to lose a lot of weight. You're going to lose the most per week, which is 5 or 6 pounds or so a week in that time because you're eating a totally different diet and you're eating way less and anyway.
Yeah.
But then the following week when you start real food, they warn you your weight loss is going to slow. Warning. Pull up.
Wait.
Pull up. Wait. I know where that comes from. So their expectation then is
great expectation
2 to 3 pounds a week.
That's
closer
good.
to the.
That's
closer,
still good, but that's kind of more normal and sustainable.
Closer to the 2 actually is what she's after.
That makes
so
sense.
I get in there today or a couple days ago and step on the scale, and so here, and there were some differences in some of my weights because when I weighed there. Of course, their scale's about 6 or 7 pounds heavier because I'm fully clothed.
Freaking scales.
First time I started
scales.
going, I know, cheaters. My first couple of visits were morning visits. I didn't eat anything. I didn't drink anything to get my weight. And then I went in later on after a couple of visits. I'm now at the end of the day, 5 o'clock visits, and fully clothed from work and everything. So I decided all my appointments moving forward are evening ones. And so I'm going to go in the evening time and I remove my shoes. Because that's, clothing wise, I mean, I might be within a pound, but I want to make sure I'm weighing equally each time to see the difference. Because otherwise, the first time I got on with my shoes, I got on and she's like, oh, and I looked at the number, I gained 2 pounds. I'm like, hang on a minute here. I don't feel good about that.
What the?
At my scale at home, I've lost weight.
Come on. You're like, I'm just going to bring my own scale from now on.
Yeah.
So when you take so you were like, I'm going to take my shoes off.
I said, do you mind if I take my shoes off and reweigh? And she says, no, go ahead. So fine. I did, and then it showed a loss.
Did you, here's what you should have said. You said, do you mind if I take my shoes off? No, that's fine. I'd feel more comfortable if you took yours off too. Is that okay?
It would have been uncomfortable if I took my pants off. Because normally when I weigh in the morning, I weigh in my birthday suit and then I get in the shower.
I do the same thing. I still get it. I do it out in the shower. After. I know we've had this debate.
Have you done it before and after?
I have. It was exactly the same.
Oh, I must retain water.
I don't know if you're dehydrated.
Yeah. So, so I went back and she's like, oh, yeah. Oh, you've lost some weight.
Whoa.
And I'm like,
she said that before you got on the scale, though. When you walked in the door, she was like,
no.
Whoa.
No.
Hey, who's this guy?
She should have complimented me, but she didn't. Yeah. But anyway, that's okay.
If you know what you're doing, come on.
Yeah.
It's called encouragement.
So she's like, wow, that's 4.7 pounds this week. Whoa, what the heck's going on there? That's 4.7 pounds this week.
So what does that mean to her? Is she like...
I wonder if they can see, they can see that. And so she goes, how much did you exercise? And I go,
hold on. What did you do?
Yeah. That was kind of the impression I got. It's like, she wasn't expecting that larger number.
Like, oh, no.
Yeah. And I said, I want to talk with you about that. I mean, I didn't exercise once. She goes, you didn't? And she goes, this would show me that you're eating what I told you to eat and then exercising like a crazy person. And I'm like, I looked at I have a Peloton, so I said I looked at it, and she has one too, so she knows the addiction to it. I said, I looked at the Peloton this week, but I didn't touch it. She goes, are you serious? I said, yeah, I didn't. I just ate what I was supposed to eat. And then she's like, did you log your food? And I said, yeah. And she goes, you use MyFitnessPal, right? I said, yeah. She goes, can I see? I go, what, you don't believe?
Show me.
She did.
Show me.
She goes, I said, and jokingly, I'm like, you don't believe me? And she goes, no.
What?
Jokingly. And so I'm like, you really want to see it? She goes, yeah, I track that stuff. And so there's a couple of different ways. I was showing her day by day what I ate and this and that, and how I was in my numbers. And she's like, yeah. She goes, can I see something real quick? And she pushes a couple buttons, and it brings up like the whole week in review. Is what she's after. I didn't know how to do that. Anyway, so then she writes down some things, and she really like, yeah, the first couple, there's a couple of days where I went over. One, I went over like 100 calories. Or 80 calories.
Yeah.
And one I went over like 35 calories. And she goes, it's no big deal. It's about the week.
Here's the thing, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah. She did that.
But
end result is, I said, here's my concern. I want to, when I stand on the scale,
like,
I lose
look,
5
I
pounds
don't want
a
to
week.
buy a whole new wardrobe next week.
I'd love to have to buy a new wardrobe.
I know, I'm just kidding.
But I don't want to lose muscle. I want to lose fat. I want to do it right. I don't want to lose the muscle, the little bit that I have. But I said my concern is that I'm eating 1,300 calories a day. I've got, it's a, 35% protein, 40% fat, 25% carbs.
Okay. Checks out.
Yeah, I got 100. So 100% of my food. At 1,300 calories. I said, my concern is when I ride the bike on a 20-minute bike ride, I'm burning 300 plus calories every time. So now
she wants you to exercise?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. And I'm good with that. But then, am I going to have... I don't like exercise, but I like the Peloton. But my thing is, I'm going to have zero energy. I'm going to get on the bike. We talked about I burn 1,550 calories a day just doing this.
Right.
So now I'm adding another 300. So now I'm at 1,850 calories that I exerted, and that doesn't even include walking or doing anything or eating so
you can get like one of those chairs.
You're so helpful. So it was determined that we're going to raise my calories. She wanted to raise me because as much as it's...
You're on 13?
I was on 1,300. As much gratification as it is every time I get on the scale that I've gone down, I want to make sure that I'm being sensible about this. And I'm in it for the long haul. I'm not in it for the short time, even though the short term feels good. To get on the scale and go, yeah, I'm there.
But
I'm there.
Now that you're eating more substantial things, though, don't... Like you said, there's going to be less drop-off.
But based on my resting metabolism burn of 1,550, they put you in a deficit. That's why she put me at 1,300. If I continued on that 1,300 calories a day, I would be losing 4 to 6 pounds. If I exercise, probably 7 or 8 pounds potentially a week, and that's way too much. It's too fast. You're going to lose lean muscle. It's not healthy. So she wanted to, she's like, well, maybe we'll bump you up to 1,600 calories. I said, I'll take 1,500. I don't know.
It's like an auction.
I'm scared almost now to eat more.
To the man in the red hat.
Yes, I win. But I'll tell you this.
You're scared? No, you'll be fine.
I know, but I feel incredible. 1,500 calories. I was like, wow. That's a lot of food. And yesterday I ate everything I wanted to eat.
That's good.
And I still...
You're satisfied?
Yeah.
I think I've been eating... I think I've been pretty full for the most part, and not really even with the deficit.
Yeah.
And been like, yeah, that's fine. I can go to bed happy.
So I did ask. I've been, since our last episode, I've been to the doctor twice, or been to their office twice. This last time, like I say, I talked to the nutritionist. The time before that, I met with the doctor. So I asked some of those questions we talked about, and about intermittent fasting.
If it was normal, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
different question.
It's just normal. We take a look at this. Have you ever seen it? Yeah, that's. Oh
no! Okay, so awesome. Fasting.
So intermittent fasting, and he said that he doesn't feel, in his professional medical opinion, he said if you spread that out, if you intermittent fasted for a year, he says he thinks you might see a difference of a pound or two in eating normal. He says, I don't think there's enough distinct evidence that intermittent fasting is better for you or will help with more weight loss than just eating when you want to eat, sort of thing. Now, they do recommend, if you're going to eat carbs, to eat them earlier in the day. If you're going to go carb heavy in a meal, eat that earlier in a day than you would late. Yes.
So he's saying 1,500 calorie diet.
Yes.
Whether you eat 100 calories once an hour for 15 hours, or eat it all in 1 hour, net difference is pretty much zero.
Minimal amount of difference in weight loss over a year's period of time.
It could be true. It's probably true, but I do feel from the psychological impact of I'm not eating right now, so there's less chance for you to go off the rails during this window.
And I wouldn't see it that way. I would see it as for you. I mean, that's really it's whatever works best to keep you on track. For me, I would be like, let's say for example, you're going to eat, and I think this is probably pretty accurate for you, between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When I take that last bite at 6 p.m., I'm like, oh my God, when's the next meal? I mean, I know when the next meal is, but that's like
too far away.
And then mentally, I'm going to be hungry.
I see.
That, for me at least. I like to know that I can, for me, like dessert, and it probably is a little carb heavy, but so far it's worked. If I feel like having a dessert, I'll have like a bag of that 100 calorie popcorn, or I will do, which is like 6 kernels. But no, I mean, you get more than that. It's actually enough to satisfy you. Or my wife and I will split one.
3 kernels each.
Yes. Or I'll do that the Greek yogurts, the flavored Greek yogurts. I forget what brand it is, but they're 80 calories.
But sadly, you can't really put peanut butter in that.
With granola.
Oh, really? Doesn't granola have...
It's higher in carbs, yeah. But it fits into my day and everything, and it's really good. So I put like a quarter cup, which is a lot. A quarter cup of granola in one of those things, and that's my dessert, and it's super satisfying. I mean, I feel totally satisfied with what's going on. I did talk to him about, I did drop kind of a little thing. The reason I asked is, my buddy's doing this, and he's done some pretty extreme diets over the past, and he's like, I
said, told him about the potatoes?
I said, I got to tell you this. I said,
that was in confidence.
Not when everybody knew.
He's like,
I said, I have a friend that did this potato. He's like, how many carbs that is?
I lost a lot of weight though.
It was all he could eat was potatoes. I said for like the first week, just boiled potatoes or baked potato. He was like, with anything on it? I said no. And then like after that, he was allowed to introduce pepper. And I think he could go with a different variety, like fingerling potatoes and red potatoes and this and that. And he's like,
fancy.
Well, there's some extreme diets out there. But I did ask him about, he did say that you, as far as intermittent fasting, you would lose more weight potentially if you were doing long intermittent fasts.
Like a full day?
36-hour, 48-hour.
I have done that.
And some people do that, but he said that, in his opinion, is more detrimental to your metabolism.
Oh.
Because it's you put it into these shocks and it just doesn't know what it's doing. Mm-hmm. Potentially,
you don't know where your next meal is coming from, basically.
Well, your body does it. It's like, the next thing it's going to bring in, it's going to store as fat. So you might, you may lose lean muscle and store more fat. So it's kind of the thought I thought of what he was saying, but
that's interesting.
It made a lot of sense. I mean, again, coming from a medical doctor.
Now, how much does this frickin' doctor weigh?
He's big as no, about 380. No, it's interesting because he's not one of these, and I guess that's probably why it makes it better. He's not one of these 2.5% body fat kind of guys. He's an average dude. tall guy. I mean, yeah, just an average sized guy. So, but anyway, yeah, I wanted to make sure I got that out, that I did talk to him about intermittent fasting and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, because I had asked him that same kind of time frame. If I eat my 15, actually, back then it was 1,300, but if I eat my 1,300 calories between 11 a.m. and 6 a.m., 11 a.m. and 6 p.m., does that do me any different than if I start at 7 when I wake up and end at 8 o'clock at night? And he said, in his opinion, no.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that. I do.
But whatever makes you more successful, like you say, if you know that I'm done at 6, I can't go off the rails if I don't have the opportunity to eat, then that works for you.
I think that's
awesome.
Part of it. So I think that's a big part of it. And like I've heard people, like a buddy of mine, he lost a lot of weight last year, or a couple years ago even. And he kind of did it, by, improving the way he ate. Mm-hmm. But he also was like, I cut out breakfast. Like I'm not that hungry in the morning anyway. And so like taking a whole meal out of the equation cuts, 500 calories, 600 calories, depends on what you eat.
Yeah.
Out of your diet. And for the most part, if once you get used to that, you don't miss it. So I do get hungry at times in the morning, but usually it's not until like 10. I get up, I make coffee, I have black coffee or a couple of tablespoons of like coconut creamer or whatever. Uh-huh. So it's like 5 calories. So technically it's not fasting because it's still calories. 10 calories. But then I am not hungry until 10, and I look at the clock, but I got stuff going on. I got meetings, and I'll jump into a meeting. It's an hour later, jump into another meeting, and next thing you know, it's like 11:30 or 12, and I go out. I eat something sensible, and then you're kind of full.
Yeah.
And then I have fruits, vegetables, and you can only eat so much in a short window.
Yeah, for sure. So let's pull your MyFitnessPal up. I want to do some comparisons just for meal wise.
Okay.
Like I said, 2 days ago, I went the first day when my gal said, which was 2 days ago. So
gal.
This is day 3 of 1,500 calories. I didn't hit the 1,500 calories because I saw her late in the day, and I'm like, okay, my gal. Anyway, so I'm gonna go to yesterday. What I ate. So
yesterday.
Oh, my cello seems so far away. Let's go yesterday's meal.
I'm gonna
or pick a meal that you think was
a meal.
No, I mean a day that you think was a normal kind of how you've done things.
Oh my gosh, I had Ritz.
Are you tracking everything you put in your mouth?
I typically do.
No.
What I want to say is last week I did. So here's what's happened in the last couple of weeks. I got my second COVID shot, and we're talking about like health professionals and whether to believe them all the time or not. I went in for my second shot, and I had a reaction from the first shot. I had one of those like where you get the red ring.
Oh wow!
Around the injection site, but I had like the delayed reaction where it didn't show up for like, I don't know, 12 days.
Wow.
Or, no, not 12, like 9 days or something.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, wait, yeah, it was like 12 days almost. It was late. And so when I went back in, my wife was like,
a boy or a girl?
The injection site? Or the doctor?
Well, if you were late.
No. So my wife said, get it on the other arm next time. Like, I don't know for sure what that meant, but I didn't want to get it on my right arm. So I went back and I was like, hey, I had that reaction last time. And he's like, okay. And I was like, so I don't know, should I get it on the other arm? And he's like, get whatever one you want. And I was like, okay, but it was the thing where I had the big ring. And he's like, oh, I've heard of people getting that. And I was like, yeah, but it was like 2 weeks later. And he was like, no, you wouldn't get that 2 weeks later. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it happened to me.
Moderna or Pfizer?
Moderna. Anyway, so I got the Moderna. My second one, I got back, but the guy was like, he was like,
expensive and stuff.
He was like,
whatever.
No. He's like, yeah, maybe.
If you're watching, you're a tool.
He's like, maybe 2 days later, and I was like, no, it was like 12 days, and he was like, no, that wouldn't happen. I was like, okay. But anyway, so I got the second one, and it messed me up pretty bad.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I was like in bad shape the next day. And so I...
When did you get your second shot?
It's been a week now.
Oh, me too. I got my
You
shot.
got Pfizer?
No, yeah.
Yeah. Not that...
So when I got my first shot, I got a little... I felt like my skin was going to crawl a little bit, just like I felt like I needed to be out of my own skin, and then a little achy and tired. And went to bed early that night and woke up the next day feeling okay. Second shot, I think I convinced myself that I felt the same way and was a little bit tired. Woke up the next day, and I may have had a little headache the next day. That's it.
I was pretty useless the next day.
Yeah.
Like I was...
My arm hurt, for sure. I had it done on my left arm.
It's like walking through the house like, I told you kids 4 times, the only thing I need is for you to be quiet. Yeah, so I was eating a lot of drinking a lot of orange juice, soup, crackers, so a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs.
Okay.
Anyway.
But for the most, so you didn't count it on that, and I get that why you wouldn't.
Yeah.
But for the most part, so I'll be honest, I'm not, and this is my nutritionist said not to, broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, vegetables, so things like that, I'm not counting.
That's true.
They have carbs.
That's true. I don't count those.
But she told me as a professional, don't count those. She said because the minimal amount of carbs and sugars and this and that those add and take away from your calories are so minimal that it's not going to make a difference. So I haven't been counting stuff like that. But I am counting everything that I put in there except my any seasonings. So, for example, and I know some seasonings have some calories, do, right? Like the everything bagel.
Yeah,
I put a good amount on there. I don't count that.
So I do the same as you as far as I don't count basically any 0-point foods. So an apple, spinach, celery.
Oh, see, and I would count an apple,
orange. I don't.
I would count fruit because I'll tell you this. I like fruit. I haven't eaten any fruit since I started this.
Oh, I love fruit.
Yeah,
I'll eat.
I eat more vegetables.
I'll eat at least 2-3 fruits a day.
Okay, so here's my yesterday.
Okay, let's compare.
So I had 1,500 calories. I ate 1,460 of them. I had 3.
Some more drink?
No, that includes everything. 1,500 calories is my goal. I consumed 1,460 calories, and I exercised 314 calories.
Okay.
So so I didn't. I mean, yeah. So you do the math. Anyway, for breakfast, I had a slice of that Dave's Killer Bread.
Okay.
The whole wheat one. I mean, the fully leaded, 110 calorie per piece bread, with half of a small avocado. So I toast that, take a half of an avocado, put it on the top, and then I sprinkle it with the seasoning. Mm-hmm. So I have some avocado toast.
My wife does that.
And
same thing with the seasoning.
Premier Protein shake.
Okay.
A cafe latte.
Okay.
Because I like that. I mean, those are satisfying to me.
I like it.
I like it. What's your lunch or breakfast? Okay. I mean,
well, I had no breakfast, so I had.
So let's just talk about our whole day.
I had 5 calories in my coffee.
And we're gonna just go through. I'll go through my whole day, and you go through your whole day.
Well, I had lunch.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, look what I had for dinner: 4 ounces of gin.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
4 ounces?
Yeah, it's like a double. It's
like a quad.
No, a shot is 1.5 ounces.
Okay, so it's like a triple.
It's close to a double.
Okay, so Killer Man bread, avocado toast, and my protein shake. That's 350 calories.
Yeah, we remember.
For lunch, I had a caramel protein shake, 160 calories. So you're like, okay.
You like the caramel better than the chocolate, or?
I don't like the chocolate at all, really.
Like okay.
The caramel's probably my least favorite of the ones that I drink. They do have a new one out that I gotta find.
What?
Cinnamon roll.
What?
Kathy saw it on Facebook yesterday. I'm on the hunt.
All right.
So you would think to go, okay, that's not a very big lunch. I mean,
that's your lunch?
Well, Kathy's like, you're not eating enough because you're eating too much at night. Well, I like a little bit more at night. Anyway, but I'll go over my snacks because I put things in. So I ate something between breakfast and lunch.
I had a lot of snacks too.
But for lunch, all I really wanted and needed was that shake.
Here,
So
can I do my lunch?
yeah.
Okay. So mine's a little different. So I'm tracking points.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for lunch, I get 44 points a day.
Which is so interesting because Weight Watchers and we're about the same weight.
Oh, that's so interesting.
It is because we're within a couple pounds of each other.
Yeah.
And
sorry, you were looking at me. I was sucking it in.
Me too. Speaking of sucking it in, I'm wearing a shirt that I haven't worn in about 4 or 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it would fit, but it would fit like a schmedium. So yeah, I feel way better.
But you're about to say like when I was on Weight Watchers, I only got like 12 points.
No, seriously, it's changed that much. I think I want to say that based on my weight, I was probably similarly weighted within 10 or 15 pounds. I want to say like I got 28 points.
But it probably meant that like today, if you get like a quarter pounder with cheese,
yeah.
When you were on it, it was like 20 points. But on this, it's like 30 points.
Oh, okay. So
it's probably they've adjusted like
perfect. So,
how the points.
Okay, so go ahead.
But anyway, so my lunch was 17 points.
We got about 10 minutes left.
My dinner was 8 points, and my snacks were 19 points. So
jeez,
more than half of my day was just kind of snacks.
Yeah.
But okay, so for my lunch, I had carb balanced tortilla, so like a low carb tortilla, some chicken sausage.
Yep.
I had a Laughing Cow cheese, which I kind of spread on
Did
the
it laugh at
tortilla. You? They're all going to laugh at you.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's it's
like it's the little triangles. Are they squares
like the little
or wedges?
Yeah. But it's like a soft cheese, so
it's like a cream cheese. You know what's funny is I like those.
You do. What a hypocrite! So I put that on my tortilla as like a base. Put the sausage on it.
Yep.
And then
those are those chicken pepperoni stick things.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
And those are good, man.
They're good.
If you find those, get them.
I mean, really, they're like I want to say they're like that long, and they're like 100 calories.
They're comically large. Like it's like you could do like a sword fight with them.
Yeah, I mean, I could go get them. I think we showed them on one of our Fatlisted episodes. They're like this long. Yeah, we did. We tested them.
They're good.
Yeah,
they're good.
So okay, go ahead.
And then later, I had another tortilla with a cheese slice and some taco meat that we had left over.
Okay,
so that's what I had for lunch.
Yeah. So for my dinner, I actually did kind of a repeat. I did another avocado toast. So I had another piece of bread, Dave's Killer Bread, and half an avocado, 2 eggs that I scrambled. I also, to those eggs, I added some mushrooms.
Okay.
And did I add jalapenos? Maybe I just did mushrooms. I think I just did mushrooms. And then Morningstar, which is a veggie company, I did 2 patties of their sausage, veggie patties.
I like those.
My dinner was 450.
How many calories are the sausage patties?
70 only.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, so, and they got a ton, what do they have for protein? They've got 9 grams of protein each. So those 2 patties were 18 grams of protein. It's a lot. So my dinner was 450 calories. So, but then, I mean, now I got to get into my snacks. I mean, if you look at this, I had avocado toast and a shake for breakfast. I had a shake for lunch. I had avocado toast, 2 eggs with a ton of mushrooms, and
in your eggs or just separate?
I saute them first in that zero spray cooking spray. And then I put my eggs in and cook it, and then the sauce. So 2 eggs, mushrooms, sausage patty. I mean, my plate was full for dinner. And then throughout the day, I had a boca, boca patties. They have a spicy chicken breaded boca patty. I had one of those with a thin slice of cheddar cheese on top. I had 3 ounces of pectoral beef jerky that I made, homemade beef jerky. I had a Greek yogurt, a blueberry Greek yogurt.
Pectoral.
It's just from the I know it's better meat. It's really really good. A Greek yogurt cup by Dannon and a 1/4 cup of granola. I mean, that's a lot of food in a day, and I didn't hit 1,500 calories.
Wow. And you felt good.
And I felt great. And I was, when I ate the thing last night, I was full.
My snacks for that day I had a protein bar, chocolate peanut butter, one of those pure protein.
Yeah, from Costco. Yeah, those are really good.
They are good. I had the same cafe latte protein shake.
Those are so good.
And sometimes I'll mix it with,
coffee,
espresso.
Yeah.
I had a Baby Bell cheese,
Mm-hmm.
and have you had the veggie straws?
I've seen them, and I think I've tried them a few times. Yes,
they're pretty good. They're pretty satisfying, like a chip. They're not, they're probably not that nutritious for you.
Yeah,
but they are pretty satisfying, and you get for a serving, you get a lot. So you get like 50 veggie straws.
How many? So is that it?
And then I had and I don't remember how I consumed it for sure, but I had a tablespoon of peanut butter. So I don't know if I just was like...
And 4 ounces of gin.
Right, that was my dinner.
Sounds like a problem to me. But, okay, so let me ask you this. How many calories is that? Does that tell you?
I was trying to find that out. I can go individually, but I don't know if I can find the calories for the whole day.
Can you do it individually and just tell me? I'll add it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, hang on. Go ahead.
60.
Okay.
140.
Okay.
So it's 200. 50.
Okay, that's 250.
156.
Okay.
80.
Mm-hmm.
70.
Mm-hmm.
259.
Mm-hmm.
200.
Mm-hmm.
160.
Yes.
70.
Uh-huh.
195.
Whoa.
And then 105.
1,545 calories. So you're about a 1,500 calorie day.
Yeah, I believe that, and that's when I ate every single point that day.
Okay, so that
sometimes I don't eat the full points.
And so I would assume that points are going to equate to calories, which has fat and protein and carb, kind of mixes that in and keeps you in a consistent kind of thing, because it's going to take all those numbers of that 160 calories. It'll take the makeup of that and put it into those proper categories to come up with your point value.
Right.
So we're probably really eating very similar.
I think so, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so one thing I do change up in the mornings is, so that breakfast I had today was 350 calories. That's the avocado toast and my shake. If I want to mix it up, what I'll do is I'll scramble 2 eggs, put a little bit of vegetable in there, a piece of that thin cheese that Sargento's makes. It's ultra thin slice. They're really thin. They're like 45 calories. Okay. So it's a normal size square, but it's like paper thin almost. But it gives you a little bit of cheese flavor. Mm-hmm. And then my wife bought those. They're like a pita bread. I think Ore-Ida makes them. No, not Ore-Ida. Oral Wheat. It's a pita about yay big around. It's got perforation in the middle, and you can break it in half.
Oh, okay.
And then open it up.
Oh, like a pocket?
Yeah, it's 50 calories for half.
So that's less than a tortilla.
Yeah, it's. I'll show you. We've got them out in the other room. So I'll take the 2 eggs with the vegetable in there.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Jam it inside there with the cheese on it.
Oh, I want to make that.
I'm talking. It's a half a pita, and the half a pita is probably about that big. I mean, it's a decent size. I can imagine. And when I tell you that it's hard to get, I mean, you're stuffed. It's like this thick. I mean, it's big.
Wow.
That and my avocado toast. I think
that's a lot.
Do I do that? No. I'm sorry. I substitute that for avocado toast and have a protein shake on top of it, and it's only 360 calories.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
So the tortillas that I'm eating are usually between like 60, 70, 80 calories.
I know which ones you're talking about. I think we get those too. The carb balance ones by Mission or something.
Yeah, but if you could do half a pita for 50 calories, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And it really is a true pita. And I will say there was one thing I didn't count the other day, is Kathy brought some, and I know that you're going to be like, oh God, I wish it would have been over, some fresh clams. And so she thought that she'd never bought them before. I don't think we've ever bought clams. We've always harvested them personally. But she thought they'd last in the fridge for 2 or 3 or 4 days. I'm like, no, that's a today thing. Maybe a tomorrow if you want to take a chance. And she's like, really? And it was like $20, $19. And I'm like, well, let's just make those. I mean, I'm not going to...
Did you make them Rockefeller style?
No, that's oysters.
Oh, okay.
No, what you do with these is... And we didn't have any white wine. And you're supposed to do them like white wine and shallots and garlic and a few other things and put them in and steam them.
That was my Tuesday.
White wine?
Yeah. That was my dinner on Tuesday.
I used chicken broth. I found a recipe online for chicken broth. And so we steamed, it was 2 pounds of clams, which really is like probably 3/4 of a pound of actual real meat because of the shell. And we ate those. I didn't count them, but I did look up that clams are like minimal.
Oh, are they?
Minimal. So
I do start to wonder now, though, that we're talking about this, that a normal day, let's say I'm around 1,500, but I'm not counting like an orange, an apple, a banana. That's going to be some calories on top of that.
That's going to be some calories, yeah.
So maybe I should start tracking fruit.
Track those, but then you won't be able to drink.
The problem is there's zero.
How much calories? We only got a few more minutes, I think.
Yeah.
How many calories were in your drink?
That was
4 ounces.
That was the two.
That's a lot of, and zero protein, I guarantee.
Yeah, it depends on how old the glass was. If I washed it. No, yeah.
How much residual protein was in the glass?
That was 260 for the calories. I will say this.
Let me see. I'm going to see what that breaks. Does that tell you how many how many?
It's nothing. There's nothing nutritionally.
So it's just calories.
It's 100% calories. It's just empty calories.
Let me see what this says here. Gin.
So I will say, let's get into this more next time. But I want to talk drinks next time. And I know you're not a big drinker. What
brand?
It was Kirkland. Dry. I think it was dry.
Probably won't have that.
Dry gin or something. Botanical. But
yeah, that's super good for you.
I was drinking
zero.
It's got nothing. I mean, alcohol's not going to give you anything.
We should get into that next time.
But I was the past year in the pandemic. I've been drinking a lot. I mean, I was drinking probably 4 or 5 times a day, or I mean, a week. Probably 4.
We'll probably cut that out.
I mean, in between meetings, you know.
Yeah, I didn't do it while working on the meeting.
No. That's, you take a break. No, it's but I would say, yeah. I mean, there were weeks when I would make a cocktail hour a couple times during the week and then on the weekends. So
yeah, definitely a topic for next time. I hate to cut us short, but we're running out of time. I know.
Okay.
I know.
And I still want to. I know we've been teasing this for weeks. I want to talk about coffee and coffee strategies.
Okay.
So next time.
Let's talk.
But great job, dude.
Yeah, you too. I mean, nice phenomenal work.
You were doing it harder. You were doing it way harder.
Well, it's just different. Way different. I'm not drinking. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm just kidding. No, phenomenal work. I can tell on both of us we look.
I do notice. Yeah, I feel better too.
Yeah, let us know your successes, your struggles. We appreciate you. Hopefully, you let everybody know about this and share it out, and we get some comments. And
it's never too late to start.
Yep. Thanks for joining us on Fatlisted.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.